All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here. We are here today to be discussing about all your new ventures and your great ideas. Before we get into all our discussion, I would like to introduce a little bit about what we do at Impaction. We at Impaction, which is Impact plus Action, are building a community where we can discuss ideas that can create a positive impact in the world around us. And we do believe in incremental change, where we all can learn from each other, distribute resources, and get inspiration. And so what we do is we hold these video sessions every other week where we discuss about different topics, we learn from each other, we grow and distribute our knowledge. And so I would kindly ask all of you to introduce yourselves. But before that, let me go first. I am Tanvi. I am the product manager at Impaction, and I am based in Boston, United States. Leo, who is my colleague at Impaction as well, can you please introduce yourself?
My name is Leo. I'm a UX UI designer for Impaction and reside in Boston, Massachusetts, United States.
Thank you, Leo. And as I told you guys, we have Lex McCusker with us, who is the Director of Student Entrepreneurship Programs at George Washington University here in the United States, where he also directs the GW New Venture Competition. So Lex, if you could just introduce yourself, say a few words to all our semi-finalists, that would be great.
Yes, so I work at George Washington University. I've been here for 6 years. Before that, I was the dean of the business school at Stevens Institute in Hoboken, New Jersey. And I worked for 20 plus years before that at AT&T and Bell Laboratories. I direct all of our student entrepreneurship programs at GW, and that includes tech-based, not tech-based commercial entrepreneurship, as well as social entrepreneurship programs.
Okay, thank you so much, Lex, for being here.
Happy to be here.
So, the topic of discussion. So today we're going to be speaking about the contestants. Everyone here made it to the semifinals of our competition. Out of 122 applicants, there were 20 applicants who made it to the semifinals. Due to the thoroughness and the feasibility of the ideas and the difference that they want to make in the world, we decided that everyone here was basically the top 20. It was very, very tough competition. We went through everybody's application, and I want to congratulate you all for being here today, and congrats for making it to the semifinal rounds. So please introduce yourselves one by one, and as you go in, I'll be making sure that we have everyone on the list. All right? So if you guys could please start 1 to 2 sentences, that would be great.
Who should go first?
Yeah.
Start with Abigail, Mike. Abigail?
Hi, Jose Avina here with Sacramento Eco Fitness from California.
Awesome. Correct me if I'm saying this wrong, please. Abigail, Salim. Not here. Sasha's not here. Beatrice, can you introduce yourself, please? Beatrice?
Do we have Beatrice here?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we're here.
Okay. I'm Beatrice Kuruma. I am the Chief Executive Officer for eWomen. I've got a lot of experiences working with different organizations, and at the moment, as I am with eWomen, I'm ensuring to make a difference with women and also with persons with disability. And I am a Sierra Leonean for sure, presently staying in Sierra Leone.
Frida Sarko.
Hi, I'm Frida.
Hello.
I'm Frida Safo. I'm the CEO for Tropical Almonds. I'm from Ghana, and but I stay in Phoenix, Arizona. I graduated ASU recently with a master's in supply chain management.
Awesome. We have Kamong Sakurma. He's not here. Jose Avina. Jose.
Yeah, hi everyone. Jose Avina here with Sacramento Eco Fitness. We're harnessing the human power to produce clean energy at the fitness facility. Let's keep it really quick and simple.
Miriam.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, my name is Mariam. I'm from University of Illinois. Our venture is tackling water issue because there are 1.3 billion people who struggle to access water. Therefore, creation, build, and sell solar water purifier for the people. With solar energy, we turn brackish and dirty water clean and drinkable. So that's what we did. Yeah.
Thank you. Could we have Nabil Jaffer?
Hello?
Hello.
Hello, you can hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Hey, I'm Nabil. I am based out of Calgary, Alberta, but I currently run Manavta. We build sustainable toilets, eco-sanitation at rural schools in Nepal.
Rose?
Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Hi, yes.
Oh, yeah. My name is Rose Cavalli. I am based in Kenya. We manufacture beauty products. I am a co-founder. I work with my husband. Yeah, with the purpose of creating employment and helping bridging the gap between young people and employment here in Kenya.
Awesome. Thank you. We have Saja G.
I am Saja. This is Siwar. We run a small communication design studio called The Valve, and we do communication materials for social impact and social change with NGOs and companies working in social change in the area, mainly in Jordan.
Awesome. We have Amin Khan.
Hey guys, my name is Samin Khan. I'm the creator of Revolution Energy. It's basically, our product is an air conditioner that runs entirely on renewable energy. And I'm also a sophomore at Queens College in New York City. Thank you.
We have Shivanji introduce himself. Right here. No, I don't think so. Zik, did I say that right? Do you hear me?
Hi. Hi, I'm C. Coronel. I'm based in Peru. I'm a second-time entrepreneur. My project, I Build Peru, aims to improve low-income housing through progressive modular construction, financed through rental incomes.
Thank you. Now, we'll be going through some of the questions that you guys sent over to us over the past few days. Kathy, are you here? Is Kathy here?
No. I don't think she's here. We didn't miss anyone who is here on the call, right?
I'm here, Abigail.
Abigail. Yes,
Okay.
sorry, I thought so. Could you
Yeah.
please introduce yourself?
Yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah,
Yes, we hear you.
my name is Abigail. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I'm the founder of Zero Phototherapy. So our mission is to use a phototherapy device powered with solar panel in order to reduce neonatal deaths caused by neonatal jaundice in Africa.
So you are asking us to explain the mentorship opportunities that are available to everyone here. Basically, will it be one overall winner or a group? So to answer that question, we will choose one of the applicants at the end of the competition, and that will be the winner. And no, there's no group of you. If that was what your question is asking, that will be just one person or one team, depending on the application. The mentorship opportunities, we will be providing a mentor during the final round for those who make it to the final round. And as far as mentorship goes, people can connect on the Facebook group, and you can also connect on Impaction. And through communication, you guys can share your interests, see what you're looking for, and see if there's anyone who shares the same interest where you can connect and have a mentorship with. Lex, would you like to add anything to that?
No, I don't have anything to add. We can do some mentoring in the time we have together this morning, but mentorship is very important. You all have great ideas, lots of enthusiasm. What you lack, of course, is experience. And so mentors are vitally important for young entrepreneurs. They can get you up the learning curve. As I like to say, I like to learn from my own mistakes, but I'd much rather learn from the mistakes of other people. So get a mentor as soon as you can.
Awesome. Thank you, Lex. And I think Rose, is Rose here? Yeah, I think your question.
Yeah.
Hi, I think your question was how collaboration can help social entrepreneurs scale their ventures.
Yes.
Well, for us, since Impaction believes in collaboration, we believe that when people talk to each other, when people interested in the same field, people wanting to contribute their skills, their time, and their knowledge to a field, and especially the social impact field, it can be really important for any social entrepreneur, anyone wanting to grow their idea, anyone wanting to grow their business. So even though we are offering you an informal type of mentorship by giving you the resources and basically access to our network through the Impaction community, we also believe that apart from this, you should look into what we call the peer-to-peer model. And that basically means you don't need a formal mentor to help you with this. Even if you reach out to 3 people who are in the same field or who are in fields that are similar to what you're doing, and they give you 3 different ideas, you can still take a lot away from it. And this is what we believe, and that's what we are trying to encourage here. Other than that, in terms of mentorship, as Lex said, it's very important. So even though you're not able to find someone really, really experienced who could help you out with any of your challenges, we believe that talking to people even with the same experience level as yours, but working in the same field, can also be really important. It can help you grow. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does.
Great.
If I could just add a little bit,
Sure.
Kathy and Rose are asking the right questions right from the start. Nobody has all the skills they need to be a successful entrepreneur. Full stop. So I challenge all of you to understand the skills that you bring to your venture and your idea, and understand the skills that you don't have. So if you're good at software, but not good at marketing, if you're good at people skills, if you're good at product construction, if you're good at sales, that's great because you'll need all of those things. But find the list of things that your venture needs that you don't have, and start now to find collaborators. Entrepreneurship is a team sport. And while it's great to have a mentor, somebody who's experienced and can guide you, having teammates and collaborators who complement your skills is also very important to your success.
Thank you.
So, Beatrice, you asked us how many judges are there to determine the winners of the competition? How many are females and how many are male judges? To answer your question, there will be 3 judges. 2 of them are females, Shivani and Sukanya, and we have 1 male judge, Scanlon. You also asked us, you also said people, including even the government, are talking positive about our innovation, but we are still in need of support to help us roll out and scale up our business. But we are always confronted with the question, what next? Therefore, I want to ask you the same questions, help us with answers, all right? So to answer your question, I'll look this to Lex. Could you help us out with the question? Basically, government is talking positive about social innovation. How can we help them scale up their businesses? And what happens next? You know, once they hit that barrier, what are the next steps that people can always take?
Well, let's dig in a little bit more on Beatrice's idea. I read the short write-up that Shivani sent me. Tell us all a little bit more about where you are what's the status of your venture now? Do you have products? Are you actually making and selling some of the device, the briquettes and tiles that you were talking about, or are you still in the idea stage?
Yes, we have the products for now. We have the products, like we are making the briquettes. We also working on the waste tires that we actually making to trash bins. These are products that we actually have, and then we also have the tiles. These are outdoor tiles that we actually sell out.
And how is your financial model? I know it's still early, but are you making money on these things? Do they sell for? Do they create a profit for your venture when you sell them? Yes,
they do. Okay. They do.
So then I'm not sure I understand the question, what's next? I mean, it seems to me like and again, you'll have to tell me if I'm misunderstanding the question but it looks like you've got the basis of a very nice business, right? Because you've got a viable financial model that supports your social mission. That's always a winner. Right. Some of the others on the call have purely.
Our point here is that we're saying that what's next. Looking at the people we are working with, the marginalized people, we're working with persons with disabilities. The question we asked, what next, is we're looking at how best are we going to scale this up. We want to look at this. There's a scaling component of it that we're actually looking at. We want to look at a wider picture. We want to look at targeting more of this marginalized youth. We want to see targeting more women because they are there, but we can actually just accommodate just a few that we can train them, work on the briquettes, work on the outdoor tiles, and even with the waste bins we are presently working with. We want to look at a scaling up situation where we can actually have more of this marginalized group on board and see how best we can work on the waste problems in the country. Okay. And then another way again is we want to look at its opportunity where we can convince the government to buy up our products.
Okay. So how far along are you on your business, your social business model canvas? Do you have a completed canvas?
We're about probably a bit above 1 year that we actually started up.
Okay. So tell me, just run quickly through the elements of your canvas then. So what are your key impact measures?
Our key impact measures here is, these are young people. We have persons with disabilities and marginalized women. Those that are with us have actually successfully completed the skills training, and these have actually led them to get their livelihood and then made them be more marketable in the labor market. Though for now we have there more and more of these young people, the marginalized women and persons with disability, they are coming on a daily basis to register their interests to learn in new skills from us.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so your key impact measures is the number of people you employ, right? You're looking to create employment for marginalized people.
Yeah, we look at those we employ.
Okay, and what's the value then to the funding agencies? What I get the value to the people you employ. If you're looking for, are you looking for grant support? You're looking for government support? What's the value you provide to them?
Well, the value we provide for is the opportunities. We look at the marginalized people.
Why do they care about that? Why do they care about that?
Well, let's say we look at the trash bins and then the associated products, even to the customers. One, we have our unique bins and they are associated with the key products. And then we're contributing as well to the environment. We actually see protecting the environment.
But you're telling me all the good things you do. You're telling me all the good things you do and all the things that matter to you. I want to know what matters to the funding agencies.
I didn't get that question clear.
So you're telling me many things that matter to you. I want to know the things that matter to the funding agencies, the external folks that you're going to ask for money.
Well, we look at on the funding, look at the opportunity to change lives. Opportunity to change lives of young people, and at least give them.
Who cares about that? I get that you care about that. Who else cares about that?
The government cares about them.
And how much do they spend a year on to support that kind of thing then?
There's a lot being spent. But what happened here in Sierra Leone is, if we look at the social components, like in Europe, when youths are unemployed, they're not doing anything, the government will give them social support. But here in Sierra Leone, much of that is actually not happening. But we look at, let's say there's a new government now. Now they are working on bringing in new skills, looking at targeting education. So it's going to cost them a lot of money to bring them up, to bring the youths up, those that have been out in the streets. It's going to cost the government a lot of money to engage those youths, to engage those marginalized class in ensuring they have a meaningful life.
Okay, that's great. Yes. So how much money do you need to scale the business?
We need a lot of money. We need something like $50,000 to $100,000.
Okay. And can you do that simply by selling the product and bootstrapping, using the profits from your sales to do that? Or do you want outside investment to do that?
We need an outside investment to do that.
Okay, good. So you're starting now to craft an answer to what's next, right? You've built a model, you have products, you can build the products profitably, you've demonstrated that you can provide jobs to marginalized people, and there are and with money, with $100,000 of investment, you could rapidly grow this business and create lots more jobs.
Yes.
Is that fair? Is that a fair characterization?
Yes, yes.
So there's two ways to get two general channels for this kind of money. One is, you've told me you have a financially viable business. So one thing you could look for is business investors, people who will give you investment in exchange for a share of the company, right? So they will share in the ownership, and of course will share in the profits for the company. That's difficult, but not impossible. The other way to go is to the government agencies, right? So you've told me there are government agencies who care very much about finding employment for these people and are spending money now on programs like that, right?
Yes.
So again, your role as the CEO of the company at this point, or a major role for you, is now to go find that investment so that you can take the company that you've started and grow it substantially. The answer to what's next is we want, and you answered it frankly at the beginning, right? The answer is to grow and scale this business. And
Yes.
what you tell them is, here's how I plan to grow and scale this business. It's going to take some money, and you, Mr. Government person, could direct some of the money you're spending now on other programs to my program, and I will show you how I will promise to you that in exchange for that money, I will grow jobs and help you to succeed with what you do in your government agency. And you can make the same argument to an investor. Not only will I offer you a financial return on your investment and an ownership stake in my company, but I also have a social impact where I'm creating jobs for people who desperately need them.
Yes.
Is that helpful?
Yeah. Yes.
The good news is having that proof of concept, right? Showing that you can make these various products and do it at a profit makes you much more attractive for people who want to put money into your investment. You've already shown that you have a viable business. That's very important.
Yes. Yes. It is.
Thank you, Lex.
Okay. All right.
Again, I would like to confirm, is I Kumang Sukarma here? No, I don't think so. Okay. We'll move on to Samin Khan from Revolution Energy. I know, Samin, you had a lot of questions, but let me start with a few for now.
Okay.
So, Lex, the first question that Samin had, which I thought was important to be addressed here, was he wants to know how to get investors and how he can efficiently utilize their money.
So, getting money for investors is not the first step. So, Samin, take a few minutes and tell me a little bit more about your startup idea, and especially the key elements of the social business model canvas. I want to know who your beneficiaries and your customers are, and I want to know the value you bring to each of them. If you could do that in just a minute or two, it would help a lot.
Okay, so our product's an air conditioner that runs on renewable energy. Our consumers are basically people in India, in actually almost around the country. Every country that has like abundance of solar energy. If there's like, for example, now every summer that we have is very hot, so an air conditioner is it's essential for everyone's home. So having a solar power air conditioner is really important, especially since we waste a lot of electricity just running one in everybody's home. So right now we have an idea. We don't have a product yet. My main question is how can our product requires like knowledge of upper level mechanics. How can we do I need to learn how to make it, or do I need to ask someone else to make it for me? That's my first question. How can I take this idea and turn it into a reality? I know some part of the mechanics, but not all of it. I have the picture, I have the idea, so I know my audience too.
Okay, so let me give a general question, and then we'll bore in specifically on your case, Samin. For everybody, what's the number one reason? What's the number one reason why startup ventures fail? So recognize that the course you've chosen is not an easy one, right? The majority of startups don't succeed. So you've picked a tough business to be in, and they fail for many reasons. But what's the number one reason that they fail? Anybody want to offer a solution, an answer to that? Well, let me tell you, the number one reason they fail is they build something that nobody wants. So for all of you, the first job is not to raise money. It's not to build your product. It's to find out Who are the users and who are the customers? Who are the beneficiaries and who are the customers for your product idea? And make sure that they really value it. Right? And you can do that. It doesn't have to be expensive. It's time consuming. You have to wear out a fair amount of shoe leather because you have to go talk to these people face to face. So your task is to identify who these people are and talk to them and really understand their situation, their needs, and what will bring value to them. Okay. So in your case, tell me who it is that really wants to have solar powered air conditioners in these communities. I get that, so, and we can short circuit this. I guess that the users will want one, right? But if you tell me the users want them, how much are they willing to pay for them? And if you tell me the answer is nothing, then we've got to at least look somewhere else. And if you tell me there are agencies who will fund this kind of thing, then you need to tell me who they are and what it is they are willing to pay to have solar power air conditioners in these regions.
Well, for our audience, for people who are looking to buy solar panels, for example, on their rooftop for the whole home, it might be very expensive for them. So they might look for a cheaper alternative, which is why, especially in the summer, it's really hot. So they might go for a solar power air conditioner. It'll be cheaper than buying solar panels. That's mainly our audience right now. Mm-hmm. Also, in other countries, the sun and the heat is extremely hot, and schools, hospitals don't really have really good source of heating. If they can invest in a solar power air conditioner, it'll be a good it'll save a lot of money for them. Plus, it doesn't run on electricity, so even better for them. And also keep the apartment buildings functional and colder.
Okay.
For investors and for agencies, we haven't really contacted anyone yet.
Okay.
Because we still haven't created the product yet. We were thinking if we couldn't actually learn how to make it or ask someone to make it for us, and then we can go to agency and see if they're but then that's true. If you do create a product and if it doesn't work, then it's also a total fail right there.
Yeah. So making the product is step 2.
Okay.
Step 1 is to go talk to those agencies. I mean, go to the library, go to Google, find a list of the 50 agencies, NGOs, government agencies that fund these kinds of projects, and knock on doors, send them emails, go visit them.
Okay.
I mean, we're in Washington, D.C., so it's somewhat easier for us because most of them have headquarters here. But, if you need to get on the train and come down to D.C. and pound the pavement, go see these folks. That's really your first step. And when you get commitments and understanding for them to what it is they really want, what will solve a problem that they have,
okay,
then you can start thinking about how to prototype it and what it's going to cost and doing some engineering and figuring out the parts that go into it. But the first step is really understanding who those customers are and how you can provide value to them.
Okay. Do these agencies have a name or just because?
Yeah, I mean, you want to Google, rural electricity, right? Electricity in the developing world, or solar power solutions, and philanthropy. Go to all the donor agencies, NGOs, any non-governmental agencies that fund. I mean, what are the non-governmental agencies that fund electrification projects?
Uh-huh.
I don't know any offhand, but there's a couple of hours of library work and searching online to try to find them.
Thank you.
Okay.
The second question that Samin had was, he wants to know when is the right time to request a patent?
That's a tough question. Very tough question. The good news is there are lots of patent attorneys who will talk to you for free for an hour.
Okay.
So you want to go talk to a patent attorney. You want to be further along than I think you are right now, but I could be wrong about that. So you have to have more than an idea to talk about a patent. You typically need at least some drawings, maybe even a prototype or a model of it. But talking to patent attorneys early is generally a good idea. Now, you can go to the USPTO, the Patent and Trademark Office, and look at their database, and it's fairly easy to search. I mean, I'm not very technical, but you can go and look at, solar-powered air conditioners. I mean, it's really that simple, and see what kind of patents there are already.
Okay.
And the reason you want to do that is because it's cheaper for you to do it than to have some patent attorney do it, for $500 an hour. So you want to do as much homework as you can, is what I'm trying to tell you. And there's things that you can do, right now, to understand what's called the prior art, what's out there now, and try to make a determination about what you have that's new or different, or even if it's a small advance on what exists now. You want to do a lot of that homework before you talk to a patent attorney.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
And also, Samin, I think you wanted to know what happens after this competition is over.
That's true.
After this competition is over, for the winner of the competition wins $1,000 US dollars as seed money, and will also get a spot in Because International's Pursuit Incubator. So whoever is the winner will get a chance to be in that incubator, will get more mentorship, will get a chance to get additional funding and like hands-on help from Because International. But when it comes to the ownership of that particular product, majority of it, I think all of it, would be owned by the entrepreneurs themselves. But as your product grows, or as close you are to a good prototype, I think it can change a little bit in terms of what Because International gets out of it. But that is something I think Because International would be better equipped to answer. So we can get back to you outside of the call with a little more detailed explanation of this.
That's perfect. I have another question, Lex.
Yes, sir.
So perhaps, like, imagine I have my product. I have my idea. I have the knowledge. I have someone who has more knowledge than me, like, for example, upper level of physics, upper level of mechanical and engineering. I have an agency who supports me. I have funding. So if I fund someone to create the product for me, following my ideas, my guidance, and my permission, how would the credibility be divided between me and the person who created the products? I'm just curious if that's possible.
Hard to say. In general, I mean, it depends on dividing up the actual contribution. In terms of intellectual property, that is in terms of who owns what percentage of the patent, truth be told, the idea is not worth very much. We all seem to, me included, think that our ideas are the real breakthrough, but it's the execution that matters. There's lots of ideas. So in terms of intellectual property, the engineering and design is usually more heavily weighted than the idea in the first place. In terms of a company, I mean, who owns what percentage of the company? The idea itself, just the idea for the company, is worth close to nothing. Truth be told, it's really the execution. It's all the other business things that go into it, and it's a lot of hard work that get the company off the ground. So typically, if you're bringing on a co-founder, you're bringing on someone to work on a company with you, you set up vesting arrangements where people can earn their percentage of the company by participating fully in the company, and typically over a period of 4 years. Don't usually get fully vested in a company, and minimum of 2, and usually more likely around 4 years of involvement. So it's ownership of the company is really around who puts in the effort to build and launch the company, rather than who has the idea.
Thank you. That's all for now.
Great, good questions. All good questions.
So Zik was also asking us, what are the key aspects the judges will take into consideration to evaluate the ventures. In order to give you a better idea of what the judges are looking for, I'm gonna say that based on the criteria, anybody's mic, like, thank you. So I sent out an email after you guys made it to the second round, giving you a list of all the criteria that you need to meet in order to be considered as a finalist, right? And there I made a list where I included, you need to have a business model canvas, right? You'll be rated, you'll be given a rating on that. You will also need to create a video. It could be 1 to 3 minutes, no more than that. And we're looking for substance in that video. We're looking to see what your product is really about, what the change is that you're bringing over to the social innovation aspect, and try to make it as clear and concise as possible, because you have quite a lot of time in order to just forge a video and say, this is what we do, this is what we want to change, this is what we bring to the table. Also, you should have created an account for Impaction and join our Facebook group. What we're looking there is for your activity. What's the kind of activity that you're bringing to the table? Are you bringing new challenges? Are you bringing new ideas? Are you asking questions? Are you looking to connect with other people? If you're running any events wherever you reside, put it up on Facebook, put it on the group, ask for ideas, ask for questions. Just make sure that you're active, add some images. Do you do an event, a volunteer event? Put it up there, you know? That's the kind of thing that we're looking forward to see, that you're really up about bringing social innovation to the world. And then being present in this video session today, that was also part of it. And the questions, just being present here, that's what counts, that's what matters, that's what we're looking for, that you're involved as part of the community. So does that answer your question, Steve?
I would like to add something to that for all of you. So we shared a Google Drive folder with all of you where you could upload all your deliverables. And now if you see in that Google folder itself for each one of you, there should be a judges criteria rubrics document uploaded in that folder as well. And our judges made that document for specifically so that you guys can see what they will be judging you on in detail. So I hope that should help. I guess that is all the questions we had from before. So now I would like to open the floor for anyone who couldn't send in their questions before and can ask questions either about the competition or any of the challenges that they're facing. So anyone can go first. Yeah.
Okay, mine is not like a question, but a contribution.
Sure.
So Rose Ure, beauty products. So my contribution, I was just thinking, since you started this, how do we further these interactions after the competition? And one of my thoughts is maybe we can keep such interactions and even the platforms that you guys have offered lively so that any of us can contribute and participate. Yeah, that's a contribution that I have.
Thank you, Rose. Yeah, that's definitely what we are trying to offer to all of you. Not just during the part of this competition, but even after, because all of your ideas are great and we need more social innovation ideas in the world. So that is why we have offered all these resources and basically collaboration connection platforms where you can talk to not only us, but also every other member in the community.
Thank you.
This is Frida, and I think you spoke a lot about what the winning team will get, but not so much about what the other teams will also get. So is the mentorship for all 20 teams or just for the winning team?
the mentorship is basically for all the teams. Since we have our mentors who are like experienced mentors on Impaction platform and also in our community, you can always reach out and get in any form of mentorship, any form of guidance, any form of help in terms of collaboration, anything. It is for everybody. But just the spot in the incubator of Because International is for the winner. But other than that, all contestants, every applicant can get mentorship through our platform.
All right. My second question is about branding, and how do you determine like what is the best way to brand your product in terms of labeling, the entire package? How do you determine that?
I guess, Lex, do you want to take this question?
So there's not an easy answer to that, not a general answer. A couple of things to consider. First, remind me what your product is.
Okay, so we use the tropical almond we produce tropical almond oil, and then we sell it on the natural beauty markets. Okay. And then when we produce the oil, we get a byproduct which we make into snacks for kids with more suffering from malnutrition.
Okay, so just in general, you want to know what else is out there. So I mean, clearly, all of you want to know what the competing products are. So you want to make sure you have a name that is distinctive from what's out there. There's two schools of branding. One is that you want a name that really conveys what your product is. So you might use the ingredients or the purpose in the title and come up with a name like that. That helps because then people know right away or quickly know what your product is. The downside of it is that if you want that brand or name to apply to other products as well, then it won't translate very well. So sometimes big companies especially will go just the opposite. They'll come up with a name that has no meaning, almost no meaning by itself, so that they can then bring other products under that brand. Think a lot about what your value proposition is. So again, I know I constantly go back to the social business model canvas, but what is the value that you convey to users that users get from your product? Is it that they feel good about themselves? Is that it's cheaper than other products? Is it that it has some special properties that other products don't have? And those elements, those reasons why people want your product, you should think about building that into the branding of your product, either in the graphics or the coloring or the packaging or even in the name, right? So if in the United States there's a brand of suntan lotion that's called NOAD, and it comes in a plain bottle. And clearly what they are selling is this is the cheapest product, no frills, no expense. So they've captured their value proposition in the branding of the product. Clearly, if you are going the other way and you're selling expensive things like Rolex watches, then your branding all conveys gold and royalty and that it's expensive. So it's not a question I can give you a good answer in 2 minutes, but think about those things. Think about the message you're trying to convey with your branding and your packaging, and be mindful of what is already in the marketplace and what you have to do to distinguish yourself from competing products.
Does that help? Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Okay, I think we have another question from
Abigail. She's asking how
Abigail,
the team at an early stage.
I need to hear that once more. I'm sorry.
She's asking, how do you manage your team when you're at an early stage?
Yeah, very difficult. Very difficult. So we run an accelerator at GW. There's somebody from Illinois. Who is it that's from Illinois? Miriam? And what we've discovered is that, and it's not unique to us or anybody else, is that getting the team right early on is very difficult. In the course of a year of doing our accelerator, almost every team has changed and has swapped out members even within the first year. So it's very difficult. You want to look for people who share your passion and your vision and share your ideals, but as I mentioned earlier, who bring complementary skills, who have skills you don't have. Startups require generalists, so it's hard to bring on specialists, but so you want people who are willing to do whatever it takes to get the job done. And that if it's marketing this week, or it's operations this week, or it's sales this week, or it's product development this week, often there's a small number of people, so it's all hands on deck. Everybody has to pitch in. In general, you want to, you guys are very early stage. If I were you, I would avoid getting involved in agreements, legal agreements, and ownership agreements. You want to get further along than you are before you start to formalize things. So find people that you can work with, that you like being around, that you can stand to be around, 10 and 12 hours a day, because sometimes that's how it works. The other thing is clear communication is hugely important. So making sure that everybody knows who's doing what the roles and responsibilities are, trying to set up domains. If some subset is primarily working on the product, then make sure that that's clear. If there's somebody who's primarily working on customer discovery and business development, make sure that that's clear. And communicate, make sure everybody stays in touch. Now, that's sort of general. Are there some specific aspects of the team that you'd want to talk about?
Thank you.
Okay.
This is beyond. I just want to ask with Sasha, because he just that they're working on branding. I think it would be great as a community, we actually be in the know about that on the branding and design.
Definitely, we work. We're a communication studio, so we do design, we do branding, we do packaging and systems, and sometimes web design. We work with the local community here, or sometimes mentor as well. So we're sure happy to help.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that would be great. Thanks, Sasha.
Anytime.
Okay, so we have 5 more minutes. Does anybody have any quick questions before we close out today's discussion? Okay.
Not a question from Beatrice, but I just wanted to affirm, because I'm doing the presentations, we're making mention of the winners will be only part of the community. We're thinking, what about the no will be winners? What will happen? Immediately after the competition is going to be the end of this forum, or we're going to continue and we'll be sharing ideas together?
Forum will continue. Our website will still be up. Our Facebook group will be up. The communications and everything like we have done today, Sasha is a good example of how communication can really help us grow amongst each other. So yes, that will continue. Collaboration within the team here will continue. So look forward to that.
All right. Okay. We look forward to that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Zik had a question about how to manage remote teams effectively. We can quickly take that, Lex, if you don't mind, please.
Yeah, there's no magic there. Distance makes it much tougher. Lots and lots of communication. I mean, regular meetings, even daily 15-minute meetings. You've got to stay in touch to bridge the distance. Other than that, I don't have any wisdom on that.
Oh, thank you, Lex. And of course, I already see you guys wanting to reach out to Sasha for help, and so I just want to say it again. We are there to encourage collaboration and just ask each other for help. And if you want to connect with anyone from the call that was the people were here today, just pop in their names and a message on the group message box, and we will connect you to them.
So, turns out it's about time to close our video session. Thank you everybody for being here, communicating and sharing everything that you have. Video. Hear me? Can everybody hear me? Yes. Please check out our previous videos. Click the button on the right and subscribe to our channel on YouTube as well. Please also make sure to create your account on Impaction and participate. We have these sessions regularly every other week. Next week, we'll be having Sherry Cardacul, the founder of Victim's Voice, which runs a platform that aims to basically help out with the legal documentation that victims face when recalling details for reporting any acts of abuse, harassment, discrimination, and that sort of situations. That's what we'll be talking about next week. And if you would like to join, please let us know. We will add you to the call. Does that sound good to everyone?
Thank you, everyone.